Alex, when you do a Google search on you, you come up as a LinkedIn expert. That's one of your callings. How's LinkedIn changed? Do you think? To me, here's what I'm going to answer my own question. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. Ever since it's been out, it's supposed to not be like Facebook, but it seems like it's turning into Facebook. Tell me about your personal problems. Tell me about how you overcame this. Or it's an echo chamber where people just comment to make sure that your name comes up in the rankings and that's it. Is it still a prospecting tool or how has it changed?
So let's flip that. How did you find me?
How did I find you? You
How
were
did you come across me?
recommended to me by Marcus Couchy.
Oh,
That
cool, Marcus. Okay, there we go. So, hey,
that
Marcus,
crazy that crazy dude, old school
that crazy
referral,
dude,
man.
Marcus Kalki. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Marcus, for listening. I appreciate
I
that.
call him Couchy.
He's
He's
a
Dr. Couchy.
he's a good dude. So, LinkedIn experts. Thank you for bestowing the word expert upon me. Um, LinkedIn. I've had a fascinating journey with the platform because I've been on it since day dot in the world of recruitment because the
Yeah.
recruitment industry took hold of it and it was the best candidate database out there. And so that was the lens that I always looked at it through and always saw it as. And then kind of Facebook came along and there was a very delineated was Facebook. No, Facebook came before LinkedIn and then LinkedIn, what have you. But there was a very, Facebook's Facebook back then, it was poking people and throwing sheep. And, this is quite cool. And then LinkedIn was a digital Rolodex and then find a job. It was only really when I was working for the law firm, attorney firm in London when Rob Fox and Jack Hanratty actually, he's now at I want to say Hopin, came and sold the dream as Sales Navigator 8-9 years ago. That's then when I started to see LinkedIn through a very different lens around now I see how can become a CRM system, if you will. Actually, what was the game changer? And they kind of changed how this now works. So they need to monetize it. But back then was TeamLink, and how TeamLink worked was to create a virtual map of all your employees. So then all of a sudden it was like, holy crap, you're connected to somebody I've been trying to get hold of for 4 months who won't respond to my phone calls. How well do you know them? Could you facilitate an introduction and start a conversation? So that started for me to shift into this journey around social selling. And then from social selling, that kind of led me more into looking more holistically, especially when I became independent consultant, more holistically around how does this all fit as a channel or a route to market, along with the broader go-to-market strategy that an organization might have. And there's a case study of me still on the LinkedIn website. I apparently led the first ever social selling program in the commercial real estate sector, where we did 500,000 net new and did a pipeline of 4.9 million through the first 12 months, where the people have said, and these weren't salespeople, these are realtors, right? Well, they kind of sellers, that if I hadn't thought about LinkedIn differently, if I hadn't used LinkedIn to initiate that conversation or see that referral, if I hadn't posted that thing on LinkedIn, this business conversation would never have started. And that's the thing. This is all top of funnel pipeline creation and influence. Is not going to help you close, because when the rubber hits the road, you still got to go through your process right. Pandemic hit. That's then when the world of LinkedIn just shifted. And that's when Pandora's box was kind of open, really, because understandably, we were suddenly in this situation, and there was, how the hell do we communicate? How the hell do we kind of get out what we're feeling? And people starting to share selfies of their desk setup and this, or a client of mine, attorney, shared a picture of him doing an online court hearing, and he was in a student tie here and shorts and flip flops underneath, and the post went kind of viral, which kind of opened up this box of it becoming more personal, if you will. It's gone too far in some cases. I think LinkedIn saw this. LinkedIn then had to kind of catch up with the creator economies of Instagram and TikTok. So we now have creator mode, LinkedIn Live, audio events, and so on. But what this then has caused is the Instagram style view that I can be an influencer. And yes, everyone has influence on social media. Everyone has a network of influence. And yes, there are some brilliant people on LinkedIn who do this very, very well, but they're far and few between because they're just lucky to have that knack or being able to pick up on a trend and create something clever with it. But just because they're doing it doesn't mean your standard SaaS salesperson should be doing it. And the reliance of automation tools and connection, which we know goes against LinkedIn's terms of business. So it's an interesting tipping point. I don't think we're ever going to go back. But the other thing that we have to also consider is that LinkedIn now has 4 generations of person on it. There's 4 generations of individuals on the platform. And let's be honest, they don't give a shit about the boomers, because that's not where their money is going to come from. Their revenue streams are going to come from Gen X, Gen Z, the millennials, forgive me, Gen Z, and then Gen Alpha. We're starting the Greek alphabet again. So Gen Alpha are basically the college kids that are now coming in. So they have to build and create a platform which is relevant to that audience, who will pay premium subscriptions, who will be the decision makers to buy Recruiter, buy marketing, buy this. Can you still generate leads from LinkedIn? 100%. Is it a prospecting tool? It is brilliant. However, in order to actually do this properly, you need Sales Navigator. And I've had nothing to do with LinkedIn, but any salesperson on the planet who doesn't have Sales Navigator is not using LinkedIn correctly, because that then helps you cut all the noise, sort all the bollocks, because LinkedIn is the one-to-many, whereas Sales Navigator is your one-to-one. But if you don't understand what it means to be social in a sales context, then Sales Navigator, like every other sales tech tool, just becomes an expensive waste of time. If you're telling me that, it starts at $1,000 a license, that if you generate one more business lead through Sales Nav over a 12-month period, I guarantee that every single salesperson listening to this, their minimum deal value is probably going to be $10,000 minimum. So it's already paid for itself 10x over. But this then comes back to your earlier point, Pete and Jamie, about, well, the budgets and this and that and so on and so forth. So I get very I know you weren't challenging in terms of the question, but yes, it's in a situation. But it's back to the change. But you've got to take a step back to my digital butterfly, and figure out, how am I going to build this into the existing go-to-market? And it's not a single channel. So this bloody narrative, cold calling is dead, social's dead and dead, email marketing is not dead. It's not working very well at the moment. We just need to think differently about how we use the existing stuff that we have in a different way to achieve the same outcomes that I was trying to do 20 years ago with cold calling.